What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Soldier, what is you looking at? So tonight, I'm going to talk about Saturn and Capricorn. That was a song that always makes me think of Saturn, makes me think of Capricorn. That was Left, Right, Left by Drama. It's an old song. It's an old song, but I love it. So anyway, welcome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm here to talk about Saturn and Capricorn. I was going to do this broadcast the other night, the night that Saturn was going to ingress into the sign of Capricorn, but Saturn's energy could be very heavy, and I did have some heavy stuff to finish off, you know, when Saturn was still in Sagittarius. Man, and plus it was at 29th degrees of Sag, and that 29th degree, pardon my Francois, but that 29th degree is a bitch, okay? Like any planet that is at 29 degrees of a sign and it's about to go from one to the next, man, it could be difficult. It really can. The energy is so freaking intense. You know what I mean? It's like, because I always like to tell people who are beginnings, hey, what's up? Who are beginners in astrology, who don't always know about degrees, like the planets, they travel through the signs and degrees. The signs are divided up in the sky from 0 to 30 degrees, right? And so whenever a planet is at 29 degrees, that means it's at the very last stretch of that sign that it's in, and it's about to move into the next, but it has to finish some business first, you know, and it can feel like a lot of pressure, like so much pressure. So yeah, it can get crazy. So Saturn was at 29 degrees of Sag 2 nights ago when I was going to initially do this broadcast, and I had to finish off some stuff, which I'll explain to you guys when I do more of the horoscopes in a little bit, to let you know personally how, as a Taurus, my sun sign is Taurus. So as a Taurus, how that, you know, affected me. So what is going on? Hey, what's up, Sarah? What's up to people's in the chat, people watching? So anyhow, yes, we're going to talk about this major, huge shift of Saturn and Capricorn. It happens once every 28 to 30 years. Okay, that is a long time. 28 to 30 years. That's how long the Saturn cycle moves. That means like it takes that long to go through the whole zodiac, right? And for those of you guys who were born, who are around 28 to 30 years old, you guys are going through what's called your Saturn return. And that's a whole other thing, okay? Like, that's like, this time is going to be really super intense for you guys, especially the generation that was born in the late 80s, the early 90s, because you guys have, a lot of you guys have Saturn and Uranus and Neptune all in the sign of Capricorn. And so therefore, Saturn's going to hit up all that stuff. And man, there's just so much to say about that. And because of that, I am offering some personal Saturn and Capricorn horoscopes for everybody, all right, on my website, which is indigomoonastrology.com, where you can see how Saturn is going to affect you over the next 3 years, okay? The next 3 years, how it'll personally affect you. So I will do some general horoscopes for every sign on here, but when you have your actual birth date, your exact birth date, there's the planetary alignment that day that wasn't happening every single day. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be different for everybody. Not only that, if you know your birth time, that's a whole other story. That adds other layers to it. You know, so these Saturn and Capricorn forecasts that I have, the personal ones, it's like I look at how is Saturn going to be aspecting your personal planets and your personal equation, you know what I'm saying? Your personal planetary calculations. How is Saturn affecting all of it? Is it making an aspect to anything? Is it going to cross over anything? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's much more detailed than the general, and I go over the next 3 years. Okay, so if you would like one of those, it's 35 bucks. It's on my website. If you were born in the Saturn and Capricorn generation, I will give you the exact dates for that. Then you will receive a discount off of my Saturn Capricorn forecast, because Hunty, we have some deeper things to discuss for you guys. Okay, so I will give you guys a discount because you guys are gonna really need some guidance. So that means you got to email me. You got to email me your birth chart or your birth date and time and all that stuff if you have it. And so that way I can make sure you are a part of the Saturn and Cappy generation. And then I'll send you the coupon code. All right. So Saturn and Capricorn. So this is a cycle, once again, once every like 28 to 30 years. So let me give you the dates of the last times that Saturn was in Capricorn. So if you're old enough, you can look back to that time in the world and history in your own personal life, you know what I'm saying, and see how it affected you, if you could remember. So Saturn was last in Capricorn. It was February 13th, 1988 until June 9th, 1988. Okay, so it was there. It entered Capricorn for a little bit, and then it went retrograde. It went retrograde back into Sag. So if you were born between June 9th, 88 and 11/11/88, then you are a part of the Saturn and Sag generation. You just finished your Saturn return. And so then if you were born 11/11/88 until February 6th, 91, then that is Saturn and Capricorn generation. All right. So yes, if you are a part of any of those, then hit me up, you know, let me know if you would like a discount coupon code so you can receive your own personal Saturn and Cap forecast, because yeah, there's some major stuff to discuss. Also, I don't know if I have any viewers that are of this age group. It's the age group of my parents. Both of my parents are Saturn and Capricorn generation from before, which is from August 13th. Oh, I'm sorry. No, from January 5th, 1959 to January 3rd, 1962. That was Saturn and Capricorn too. So if you guys have parents that are in that generation, they are going through their second Saturn return, and it can be a little bit an intense time, you know. So give them some extra, I don't know, like just have sympathy, have mercy on them, okay, on your folks, because they may be going through some things. Take care of them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then before that, if you have grandparents that were born between 1929 and 1932, they're also Saturn and Capricorn generation. So they're going through the third Saturn return if they're still around. So man, if you're lucky enough to live that long, you see Saturn come back to your sign or to a sign 3 times if you're lucky. Some people don't make it, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad, like I said, my dad was Saturn and Capricorn, and he just passed, you know, right, like just a couple weeks ago. So he missed his second Saturn return. And Capricorn, speaking of, my dad was in the military when I was a baby, and Capricorn rules the military. Saturn rules the military. For those who don't know, the planet Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn. Every single sign has a planetary ruler. All right. And then when we do your birth chart, your personal horoscope, your fingerprint up there in the sky, and we look at what's called the houses, it's divided up, how your chart's divided up. The 10th house, that is the same thing as Capricorn and Saturn. So Saturn, Capricorn, 10th house, all the same thing, right? Oh, hey, what's up? People are coming through. I see you. Hey, girl. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Olga? What's up, you guys? So yeah. So if you belong to any of those generations that I mentioned, you know, this Saturn and Capricorn transit, it really means something to you guys. Also, if you were born with any personal planets in Capricorn, Capricorn sun, moon, Capricorn risings, any other planets in Capricorn up to Jupiter, any planets at all, actually, this is really important time for you from now. So let me give you the dates, the exact dates of Saturn being in Capricorn. So it moved into Capricorn December 19th, 2017. But see, the dates also depend on where you live, because where I live on the West Coast, okay, it was on the 19th. If you live on the East Coast of the US or like Europe and stuff like that, then they say December 20th, all right? But from December 19th, 2017 until the 16th of December 2020, you guys, until 2020. There are some spaces in between where Saturn will retrograde out of Capricorn back into, no, it'll go into Aquarius and then back to Capricorn and then to Aquarius again. I'll give you guys those exact dates because I'm a super astro nerd and I love to give exact dates and degrees and all of that. So Saturn and Capricorn, it just entered there. March 21st, 2020, it's going to go back into Aquarius. It's going to go into Aquarius. And then it'll go retrograde. And then it'll go back into Capricorn, July 1st, 2020. And then it's going to be there from July 1st, 2020 until December 16th, 2020. Then it'll go into Aquarius. And then it's Aquarius turn. And the Saturn and Aquarius generation, it's your turn for your Saturn return. All right. So now that I've got those exact nerdy dates out of the way, you know what? One thing I could remember, dang, I didn't have the time to do like as much research as I wanted to give like all these like mad nerdy facts and stuff. But I remember seeing an article actually a few months ago, and I posted it on my Facebook, Facebook page for this channel, to where, dang, was it Sony? I think it was Sony or one of those major companies like RCA, Sony, one of those. They had stopped the production of, I think it was a vinyl. Like, you know how back in the day, if you're old like me, back in the day, everything was pressed on vinyl, right? It was on vinyl and then it was on cassette regularly. Like if anybody put anything out, it was on that. And then CDs were introduced sometime in the 80s, and then they were like kind of tested out, not mass produced as much as the records. And then everything started switching to CD because that was like to meet the demands of society and the changes that were going on. So it was during like the Saturn and Capricorn generation that they stopped the production, the mass production of vinyl. Yeah, you could still find vinyl press today. There are some artists and different record companies that'll still press things on vinyl, but you know what I'm saying? Like everything that's new that comes out, how does it come out now into 2017? It's a download, right? It's on your iTunes, or you can stream it on Pandora or Spotify or whatever. Artists aren't worried about pressing a record. Some of them do. Some of the cool, dope ones do, but not everybody. So they stopped that. But guess what? I saw an article, long story short, okay, that said that in 2018, they're going to start producing more vinyl again or something like that. So it was like the Saturn return of that event is happening. So that's kind of like how you can measure and see cycles, what goes on in our world on a global scale, is by looking at the outer planets like Saturn, like Uranus, like Neptune, Jupiter, Jupiter too, to a degree, and Pluto. And so, the Saturn in Capricorn, it means much more than just, oh, how does it affect me? No, how does it affect the world too, like on a huge scale? And also what's something else is going on right now, that net neutrality thing, which I admit I need to do a little bit more research on it to understand what exactly it entails, in detail. I like to know all the details and facts, right? So I don't know the whole ins and outs of the whole net neutrality thing, but I just know that there's something that's going on with restriction in regards to the internet. So restriction, Capricorn rules restriction. It rules the military, the government, the president, like any head ninja in charge that's going to put the smack down and tell everybody, no, 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 I'm the boss and I say no. That's Saturn. That's Capricorn, right? So Saturn is in its home sign. And we already started seeing those effects. Like, and who is the dude? I can't remember his name, but he's from like an Eastern country. Who like is trying to enforce that whole net neutrality thing. Guess what sign he is, y'all? a Capricorn. He's a Capricorn sun, and he's the one that's like, I guess, supposed to sign off on it or something. I don't know. If you guys know more about it in the chat or in the comments, let me know. I don't want to say too much about it. I don't want to sound like a dummy because I don't have all the details, but I just know the surface of it, and he's trying to put restriction, and this is barely like starting, right? It's starting. It's already started before Saturn entered Capricorn, and now it's going to start progressing. We're going to see the progression of that happen. Let's see. Pluto and Aquarius will be the thing that F's it up the whole way. Aquarius has too much internet connections. Word. You know what? Pluto and Aquarius. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Pluto and Aquarius. Of course, do a little more research and talk about it, but that's going to be an interesting time in our lives. Let's see. So, tax cuts, Saturn. Well, we could see some things to do with taxes and stuff, tax cuts and whatever with Saturn and Capricorn, because Scorpio actually rules taxes, and Jupiter is in Scorpio. And so Jupiter is in Scorpio, Pluto and Saturn, these two like big power player, like power mobster type of energy planets are both in Capricorn. And Capricorn energy is about control. It's about power. It's about putting the smack down in a hard way a lot of times too, like teaching people hard lessons, like burning things down in order to build them back up. Can be Pluto, can be Saturn, and Capricorn. I compare Capricorn, like I like to use little analogies, and also I like to kind of characterize the planets like in human characteristic form to show everybody like what exactly, like how they act, you know, what energy they bring to the table. And I see Saturn and Capricorn energy as like a building inspector. If you guys follow me on Instagram, which if you're not, you should, wink, wink. But if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture the other day when Saturn went into Capricorn of this building inspector. And he's like looking at this building. So that's what I feel like Saturn does. When Saturn comes back around to whatever area of your life that Capricorn is in, okay, as of right now, Saturn's coming back around and he's inspecting stuff, right? He's looking around. He's like, okay, this is a weak structure right here. We need to either repair it or knock the whole thing down and start all over again. This over here, yeah, you know, that can use a few this, that, or the other. This over here, nah. Or he's just gonna like crash everything down and say, look, we need a new blueprint. We need to start all over again. We need some new architects. We need a new team to come in and rebuild this area of your life. All right. So Saturn is that building inspector. So when I give your horoscope for each sign, the general one, that's where he's going to be inspecting your life and kicking in the door and stuff. And so we'll talk a little bit about like how, let's reflect back on Saturn and Sag. Okay. And you know what? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I had some people DM me and IM me and stuff, their stories about how Saturn and Sag affected them. So let's reflect back a little bit just so people understand how Saturn, the effects of Saturn and what to expect when it's, you know, now in this new sign and what to expect in certain areas of life. So let me go to my Instagrams really quick. I had some people message me. I had, let's see, somebody who wanted to remain anonymous. I know they messaged me and they let me know what happened, you know, in their life. While I'm looking for that, I'll just let you guys know my personal experience with Saturn and Sag. So for me, as a Scorpio rising, and if you're a Scorpio rising, a Scorpio sun, even a Scorpio moon, you'll know, you'll be able to feel this a little bit. So Saturn and Sag, that was in my second house. The second house, it deals with self-worth. It deals with your income and how much you feel like you're worth as far as like your work that you do, whether you work at a job, whether you provide services to people, how you allow people to treat you. That is all second house. All right. And it's also your money, your resources, anything material that you own. That is second house. So Saturn kicked in the door in 2015 in the sign of Sagittarius. And for me personally, I had already been doing readings for a few years, like low key, like, you know, to people that I know, like my friends. I would test things out, test out my skills. I'd be like, yo, let me send you your horoscope. And they're like, okay, like I didn't ask you, but yeah, sure. I would type up this horoscope. I would type up all these long readings, you know, and they would be like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, no, don't just tell me just because I'm your friend, right? Tell me the truth. And they're like, no, 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 you really do have a talent in this. And I started going online to like astrology groups, studying, watching, learning, and then testing out on reading, doing free readings for people. I did free readings for people for a few years. Okay. So anyway, when Saturn went into Sagittarius, it kicked in the door and said, and looked around and said, what? You're doing this for free? Shit, you need to be making some money. You need to turn this to a business. And Saturn is about business. And I was like, but Saturn, like, yo, like, I'm a nice person. I'm a Pisces moon. Like, I have all this 7th house energy. Like, I'm nice. I just like to do this for people. Why should I do that? You know, and Saturn was like, yo, you need to structure your 2nd house. You need to make this into a business. And I was like, oh my God, like kicking and screaming, because Saturn's energy is like a dad figure, father figure, you know? So it is kind of like you resist a little bit, but then it's like, you know that it's tough love and they only want the best for you. So that's Saturn's energy. That's what it's like. And by the end of that transit, you know, I do have a business. It still needs some structuring and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful for what Saturn taught me by it being in the 2nd house. There was a lot of other 2nd house stuff that is very personal. I'm not going to talk about that. But it was a struggle. Saturn in the 2nd, yo, it was a struggle. And Saturn squared my moon. Oh, my God. If you're a Pisces, Virgo, or Gemini, or Sagittarius, all the mutable signs, Saturn and Sag was tough, wasn't it? It was like super tough. Like for Gemini, Saturn was opposite you guys when it was in Sagittarius. So that means relationships were affected. Yeah, it was relationships. It was like just, it felt like you versus others. Like other people were like stunting your growth, stunting your fun. Like, you know, it was hard for Gemini people. If you're a Virgo, that was a square to you. So you were still receiving challenges for people. Virgo, like I have a friend who's a Virgo moon, and she was like, yo, this was one of the crappiest last couple years ever because Saturn was squaring her moon. She had to move, stuff happened within her family, and she was like confused about where is home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stuff. If you're a Pisces, Saturn was squaring you, and you know, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, and it was like people challenging us and people trying to ask us like, who are you? Like, what's your identity? And Pisces, we like to just kind of go with the flow of life. We don't really like labels a lot and stuff like that. So, you know, people were challenging us in a lot of ways, challenging our beliefs, sometimes making us feel dumb because we're very like out there, spacey. We're connected on a different level to a different level of reality and all kinds of stuff than other people are. So for Pisces, it was tough. Like I'm a Pisces moon, and I'll tell you guys the exact degree of my moon. When Saturn hit that degree in Sag, that is the day that my dad passed. Like I looked at the stats, the numbers, it was 2745 or whatever of Sagittarius. And I was like, really, Saturn? Like, what is this? Like, what am I supposed to learn from this? You know, it was really tough to deal with, very tough. But for other Pisces too, I know they had issues with their job, with their career. It was crazy, you know? So, but there's stuff that we've learned though. It's not just about Saturn snatching things and people away. There's a lot of learning with Saturn. Like I said, it's tough love. It's like, you know, I don't know if any of you guys got whippings when you grew up, but I did. I got it. So it was tough love. I look back and yeah, I'm traumatized by a lot of stuff, but still I know that my dad was only trying to protect me. You know what I'm saying? Like by giving tough love and saying no, that strong male voice to say no. Even if you don't have that in your life, that's Saturn. When Saturn comes to your like certain areas of your life, hits your personal planet, stuff like that, it is like somebody in your ear, on your back telling you no. And you have to understand that it's for the best. You know, it's only for the best. Like in the end, it's for the best. You look back and it's like, okay, like for an example, I told you guys Saturn was in my 2nd house this last couple years. And there were opportunities that came to me like for jobs that I was like, yeah, I want to take this or whatever. And then it didn't work out. Saturn was in my ear saying no. Or I worked for somebody for like a month and then Saturn said no and snatched it away. And of course I wanted to cry, like, why? That doesn't get oh my God. But Saturn was like, nope. And then when I look back, no, like all emotions aside and everything, I'm like, okay, now I see why, you know. And in the last 29th degree, I'm telling you guys, that 29th degree, that last stretch can be so like intense. People were hitting me up like, hey, come work for me, or let's work together with this or whatever, this job opportunity. And I took a look at it and I said no, because I learned what Saturn had taught me, that if it's not for me, I don't care how much money it makes, it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? Also with self-worth, with value, like I said, I don't give a lot of stuff away for free anymore. I don't just do astrology though. I also do other creative things, which I'll share more with you guys once I get back into the flow of them. But yeah, I used to do like photography, event photography. People would want me to do stuff. I would do a lot of stuff for free, a lot for free. But sometimes you got to do that to pay your dues though. And Saturn in a certain area of your chart will show you that too. You got to pay your dues, you know? That means sometimes you got to suffer financially and do things for free until you build and build and build. Then Saturn rewards and says, okay, young grasshopper, you have learned. Let me grant you, bing, you know, and grant you with something dope, right? But I've learned though, like, don't give yourself away for free or too cheap, you know, don't sell yourself short, right? But anyway, sorry, enough about me. I just wanted to share that those experiences with you guys so you know the energy of Saturn, the purpose of Saturn, what happens when it transits certain areas, and so on. So let me see. I hope they didn't delete their message to me, but let's see. I had a few people, they did share with me their experiences with Saturn. Yo, where did this person's message go? Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think they may have deleted their message to me. Dang it. Okay, but anyway, share with me in the chat. Tone says, build your portfolio. Yes, Saturn is about building. It's about business and it's about building. So if you're serious about making something a business, Saturn will tell you, build, build, build. Build your experience, build your resume, build your portfolio, build all of that, okay? Sarah says, Virgo here, Saturn says a lot of family passed away. 3 family. Oh, and for Virgo, Saturn in Sagittarius, that's your 4th house of family. So not to scare everybody and say that whenever Saturn transits your 4th house, people are just going to pass away, or transits your moon, people are going to pass away. Not 100% for everybody. But some people, when you look back at that transit during that time, if you lost some people or whatever, you'll see an influence maybe of Saturn or of Pluto, or, you know, you could do the math and see why, what happened. And it's to understand, and it's not to like, look, listen, one thing I don't mess with in astrology is predicting death. No, hell to the no. And if anybody ever tells you, oh yeah, I can predict when you will die and all this, no, I'm sorry. When we do spiritual work, we make a contract with the Most High, okay, with the Creator, with the universe, whatever you want to name it, God, whatever you want to name that highest power. We make a contract. I had to make a contract and said, thank you for blessing me with this gift. Please block such and such and such. I made a list of things from my view and from my sight, because I'm only here to do the best, to provide insight with love to people. That's it. I'm not here to do no scary stuff. You know, I'll tell the truth about a lot of things, but if people want to say, oh, tell me when I'm going to die, or tell me if I'm going to get married, or if I'm going to have kids, I don't like to mess with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But after the fact, if somebody has left, I will look at the transits of that day or that time in that person's life, or, you know, in their loved one's chart, to see why, to see the transits that were happening, just to help to understand simply that the timing of life is divine and it's real, and it was supposed to happen at that time. All the rest of the details are not for us to know. That's only for, you know, but just to say, okay, this adds up. I see why and what happened, but that's it. You know, like I understand that this is just divine timing and I have to accept it. You know, it just helps you accept it a little bit more. Other than that, hell to the no. Don't go to none of those $10, let me do $10 holla, you know, readings on the street corner and stuff, because they will swindle you. They will try to swindle you. Trust me, especially when Saturn transited over my Neptune. Neptune rules swindling, being like fooled and deceived by people. Yes, I learned because a couple years ago, Saturn was near my Neptune. I went to one of those people just to see what they'll say. You know what I'm saying? I'm already an astrologer. I'm already an intuitive. I know my life and whatever. I just wanted to see what they would say. This chick, what she did is she goes, let me read your palm. I said, cool. I never had my palm read before. She asked me my birthday. I didn't tell her the year, but I told her, you know, my birthday. So she would know. And then she was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. This says you're stubborn. This says you're hard-headed. This says you're about your money. And I'm like, like, she's just telling me I'm a Taurus on my hand. And then she's like, okay, now go pay the $10 to my mom. And I'm like, what the? Are you serious, chick? Like, I didn't say nothing. I was like, whatever. I went to pay with her mom. Her mom's like, hi, I'm a psychic with the police force. And I was like, hi, how do I pay you for this garbage, right? She goes, I see this and this in you, and you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, okay. And then she goes, I don't see a marriage. I see divorce and separation over the next 2 years. And I was like, excuse me? Like, did I ask you? Like, did I ask you for that? And then she goes, that'll be $12. So she made me pay her extra $2 for her to tell me some BS. What she was trying to do is scare me. She was trying to scare me so that I would say, oh my God, I don't want to divorce my husband or separate or whatever. So she could say, pay me $180 and I'll remove the negative energy from your life. Bitch, no. How about no? All right. So anyway, I don't know why I got into that. Sorry, I digress. But yeah, those $10 holla psychics and stuff, that'll say I can predict your death. Don't mess with none of those guys, for real, for real. But anyway, I'm gonna go to this post where people shared with me their Saturn and Sagittarius stuff. Oh, and Rachel says she gave me a shout out. Thanks, Rachel. Rachel Raw Truth. She's a home girl. Okay. So let me just read some stuff. So from Instagram. So Codicus Inclined, she said, I have gone through the most eye-opening experience the last couple of years. Saturn was transiting my first house. She's Sag rising. I dare say that I felt this more than my Saturn return, especially when it was conjunct my Neptune. Yes. So challenges, you know, I'm going to keep it real. There are challenges with Saturn. Okay. Oh, Astro Pluto Queen and Tyra are here. What's up? Love you guys. Yes. What's up? What's up? And Ethereal Synchronicity 444 said, I just had Saturn just transit my Neptune in this mess of retrograde, and I see these shicey mofos. You got to let people know. Yes. You guys in the Saturn in the Neptune and Capricorn generation, you guys are going to be tested. And like I said, I can give you a personal reading and give you all the details and like help you guys to guide you through that time and that process, because yeah, Neptune and Sag generation, we were tested. Okay. We were tested with people trying to swindle us, sway us, take your kindness for weakness. Like it's crazy. And you got to put up those boundaries. It's so important. So, Glenn Coco says, I keep having recurring dreams of back in college all over again. But as my current state of mind, just starting over a new field of study. So yeah, you can start, learning and mastering things when Saturn, enters a certain area of your life. Saturn is about study and mastering. So wherever it is, I don't care if it's not even in a house of your chart that rules education. It is about study and mastering that area of life. So even if it's you're a Capricorn, it's about studying and mastering yourself. Okay. Like just anywhere in your life, you know, your life path, who you are as a person. You may get broken down sometimes, but you know, And a lot of Capricorn, I tell you guys all the time, I have a lot of Cappies close to me, like family. I have Capricorns in my family. So I always talk mad stuff and clown about every sign, but mostly the ones that are around me a lot because they're family or they're close friends. And that's how I show love, is I clown, you know what I mean? So when I talk about Capricorn, I make fun of them being old and, you know, stuffy and all this stuff, and I'm expressing frustration about my Capricorn interactions. It's because they're just so close to me that, like, it doesn't matter who they are. Your family will get on your nerves, okay? You love them, but they'll get on your nerves, but you still love them, right? So anyway, I can clown about Capricorns all the time. But one thing I'll tell you is I have them in my family. I love them dearly. They're so resilient. I feel like I learned so much from Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy can just they get these boulders in their path and they say, oh, well, okay, another boulder in my path, throw it on my back and keep on going. That's how they progress through life. So we can all learn. If you're not a Capricorn, you can learn a lot from them with how they do life. And it's not that they are not affected. Like, Caps are known for being cold, okay, cold-hearted people. But the thing is, it's not like they have no feelings at all. They do, but they will cry in private. They'll have their moments of crying, and then Saturn, their ruling planet, will kick them in their butt and be like, in their ear, like, okay, now that you've cried for like 2.5 seconds, let's see how we can solve this problem, and let's get to work. And then they hear the RuPaul song in their head. You better work it, do your thing, work. RuPaul actually has a lot of Capricorn in her chart too. Okay, so you better work. Yes, Capricorn theme song. So take that from Capricorns. You know, you cry for a little bit, and then Saturn will sometimes kick you, pinch you, or just gently be in your ear like, hey, come on, let's get up. You know, we got stuff to do. Or sometimes, yeah, they'll be like, hey, come on, don't be a little bitch right now. Like, come on, you got stuff to do. Like, let's get to work, you know? So, yes. Tyrese cried online. Oh, Tone Mellow is clowning in the chat. But listen, though, Tyrese is a Capricorn. He's got, I think, 3 planets in Capricorn. He's got Sun and Moon in Capricorn and something else in Cap. And he's got Pluto transiting his moon, and so that's very intense. We can clown all day about Tyrese, but when I really take like a psychologist therapist view of Tyrese's chart and his life, I mean, that's really nothing to clown about. Like, his experiences, I understand why he's going through that when I look at his transits. Man, you guys are cracking me up in the chat. Oh my God. Rafa said, as a cat, they love RuPaul. Yes, you better work. All right. Okay. Been crying for days, been sick since Tuesday. You know what? You're not the only one. I have another Capricorn very close to me that has been texting me since Tuesday with some intense feelings. And usually they're very a happy-go-lucky person, you know, happy, all their pictures of the happy, just a happy person. But as soon as Saturn hit, they were messaging me like, oh my gosh, I can't stop crying. And I don't know this person to cry a lot. Capricorns, like I said, you guys cry in private, you know, you guys will cry in private. So yeah, anyway, you guys will cry in private. You won't really let a lot of people know publicly all the time if you're going through issues and stuff, but I have been seeing some of you guys break down, and I feel so bad. And I'm like, yo, I'm here to help. But like, it's hard for Capricorns to really reach out for help. Capricorn energy, like I said, is very strong, very resilient. But sometimes you guys do have your breakdowns, you know. But Tyrese, he has Mercury and Neptune conjunct. So Mercury is expression of like communication, and Neptune is sensitivity. So he wasn't afraid to express his sensitivity. Anyhow, Cherry Strawberry, I love your name. I say that every time. I cried during the yes, you know, when I was supposed to do this live stream on Tuesday night, I was crying the whole night too. I cried all the way home. I had to deal with something. You know, like I said, it's 8th house stuff. It's Saturn stuff. Saturn at that last pressure cooker 29th degree of Sag, and then into Cappy. I was crying, like, and you know, I don't really cry all the time either. Yeah, I'm a Pisces moon, but I have like a tough like Earth stellium that makes me look at things like, you know what, let's look at the problem and see how we can solve it rather than just sitting and wallowing. But I had to make a decision that was very 8th house. As the executor of my dad's estate, I had to make a decision regarding his estate that I was very unsure of if it was going along with his wishes based on the last conversations I had with him. And so I'm like, yo, I'm here to represent him, not for any of my own personal gain or anybody else's. I'm representing him and trying to do right by him. And I felt like people were pressuring me though, like a couple of fire sign people. I love you guys. I love all the signs, but in my personal life, fire signs will just kind of like jab at me. And I'm like, yo, I'm a Taurus. Let me make my decision. Let me take my time, research, you know, and they just called me up and were like, yo, we need to do this right now. And I'm like, oh, freaking out, you know, my life. Like my homegirl is always up, oh, my life. I was freaking out and they were pressuring me to make this decision. I'm like, dude, this is very like sensitive and emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't just about like money and this and material. No, this is very emotional. I had to decide whether or not to let go of one of the last personal belongings that my dad really cared about. And it hurt so bad. Like, I don't even want to talk about it in too much detail because this ain't all about me anyway. But I wanted to do right by him. I had integrity about the situation. And I felt like I was being pressured to do something that may go against that. So I cried, man. I was crying so bad. But yeah, so I feel you guys. I feel you guys, especially my Capricorns. I had another Cappy hit me up on Tuesday night. We talked for like an hour really late because they were just like, I need to do this with my life. I need to do this and that. And they were asking me to advise them, you know, on this whole Saturn thing. And I was letting them know, like, Saturn's going to be going through this and this, you know, house and through your sign and everything. And you know what I'm saying? It may be a tough time, but you're resilient. You can do it, you know. Another Capricorn close to me right away was all in left, right, left drill sergeant mode. Like, but you know what? 2 Cappies close to me have said, I feel like just getting like Capricorns, you guys have had Saturn in your 12th house. Okay, you guys have had Saturn in your 12th house. I had another Cappy. I've had so many Cappies reach out to me. I love you guys for giving me all this insight to be able to share with everybody. So I had another Capricorn. She sent me a message, a long message, letting me know her experiences of Saturn in the 12th. And Capricorns, you guys have had Saturn in the 12th house, and it has made you guys kind of like float in this zone to where you don't really know what's going on. The 12th house is like the ocean, right? You guys are kind of like stranded at sea, floating there. And Cappies aren't used to that. Cappies are used to like being about that paper, being about their goals, knowing exactly what they want out of life and going after it. But some Cappies were lost during Saturn in the 12th. And then she said, you know what? I'm excited for Saturn and Capricorn. I'm hyped. I'm ready to get to work. Another Cappy close to me messaged me earlier. She's like, girl, I feel energized. I'm so happy. It's my homegirl Apollonia, the astrology lady. She's a Cappy. She's like, I feel so energized. I feel ready to work. I'm like, yes, girl. Right when Saturn hit Cap, she sent an email. There was a business email and was like, yo, let's get it. I'm like, okay, cool. And then what else? Yeah, so some of you guys, some Capricorns have been feeling it in a really good way. Some of you guys, it's been intense, but I think it's because of stepping out of that 12th house is very emotional. You guys are releasing a lot of stuff. And then, you know, Saturn and Capricorn, it puts things into perspective. It's very logical, practical, real. It is real. And today, as I'm doing this video, the Sun and Saturn are both together conjunct. So it's a heavy energy. I picture Saturn, and, you know, I'm weird, I'm sarcastic, and I'm all about that comedy. So hopefully nobody is offended. Oh my God, I'm so offended. But I picture sometimes Saturn is like this really huge guy, like is a big, heavy set, older dude with like that balding like ring of like of hair. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how Saturn has rings. So I imagine like this balding, heavy dude sitting on you with his arms folded like this and asking what you're going to do. Are you going to be able to get out? Are you going to be able to move? And you're underneath him squirming like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You need to find a way to get out. You know, some people could feel suffocated by that though. Some people feel suffocated by that heavy Saturn energy. And today it was so strong. Like, I had a couple of my Cappies reach out to me, very emotional, and like, it's so strong, like this energy, and I feel depressed, and I'm like, oh, I feel for you. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. So Blue Angel says, my mom's a Capricorn and she has been for this past week at her wit's end with her job. Yes. You know what? It's that 29th degree. That 29th degree is finishing Saturn and Sag stuff. And then at the same time, you're anticipating the Saturn and Capricorn stuff. So you're feeling both at the same time. And it's like, ugh, you know, like, I just want to make a move, man. Like, I can't take this anymore. So totally understand that. OJC Astrology says, I'm a Cap rising and I feel that way also. I'm ready. You are ready to go. He ready to go. Okay. Ready to go. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? Kimberly says, Cap Sun, and I'm starting my next semester of college with some intense courses. I hope it goes well. Go, girl. Get your education on. Saturn is about mastery once again. So if you're a Capricorn, it's about mastering life, right? Becoming a grandmaster. So Miss Mel's, I'm a sun at 0 degrees Capricorn. Feeling okay now. Lots of music this afternoon. That's dope. Where is your Neptune, Miss Mel's? I want to know, are you Neptune in Capricorn generation? Because if so, the sun is hitting you guys as Neptune. And that's being very in tune with music, kind of zoning out in your own world to music. So Rafa says, true. This year was crazy for me. Last January, I met my first boyfriend. It was a bad time because I was at my peak with drug issues. Aw, you're 19 and in college. Aw. Yeah, well, I'm glad that you are hopefully getting over that and making it through. So Sarah says, it was hard when Saturn transits your sign, but it builds resilience. Thank you, girl. Yes, we can talk about the hard times, but what's the solution? Do you know what I'm saying? Resilience is key. You gain a lot of strength. It is like being worked out by a drill sergeant. You know, drop down and give me 50, drop down and give me 20. But when you do that, don't you come out all swole from the military? So yeah, think of it that way. Okay, Ethereal says, he's daddy Saturn of the old astrologers. He has Sun, Jupiter conjunction, and Capricorn. Who? Oh, you must have mentioned somebody's name or something. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. He's the same age as my mom's pop. Dang. You grandfather. Rafa says, I hit rock bottom last June. You try. Oh my gosh. You went through a lot. I'm not going to mention everything because I don't want everybody to be scared. Be like, oh my God, Saturn again, Scorpios, I'm going to die. But you went through a lot. I hope everything gets better for you. Okay, Cherry Strawberry. Sag rising. You're so pumped and happy about life. Yes, for Sag risings and Sagittariuses, you guys have really experienced Saturn in your sign. And it was like, it was tough. Like I mentioned before in my videos, like Sagittarian energy, you guys are so full of life. Like you guys are like life of the party type of people. You guys are the life of the party. Like, oh my gosh, I love Sag people because you guys are the ones who, I mean, come on, look at your time of year. It's like close to the holidays. It's Thanksgiving, you know, it's eat, drink, and be merry. Let's party. Let's take time off of work. Let's go on vacation. Let's leave town. Let's just hang out. That's Sag energy. And you guys, Sag and ninth house, Jupiter heavy people usually have like these smiles. I know their smile. Like you guys smile with like all your teeth, or like you really make an effort to show your grill, you know? And so you guys are usually pretty happy-go-lucky people. Those people that say, oh, it's no bother, you know, oh, let's turn lemons into lemonade, like that type of attitude. But Saturn in your sign has tested Sagittarians. It sure has. It's tested you guys with your ability to come back with an optimistic point of view like you guys usually have. Because Saturn, like I said, he's an old heavy dude. He will sit on you and make you squirm and be like, so how are you going to get out? Arms folded. Yeah, so it's been tough for Saggies, but let me tell you what happened to some Sagittarians over the last few years that I know with Saturn in their sign. So Cappies can be prepared. So Sagittarians, but like this energy is tough for Sagittarius because it's really against your nature to be that dang serious about life. But some of you guys handled it well. I know some Saggies that they got degrees. They graduated. They got some certifications in some things. So that's the mastery part. Some of them had babies, got married, or did all of that in that 2-year span of Saturn in their sign. Some Saggies, I know 1 or 2 that they went to jail because Saturn is restriction and hard lessons and discipline. So they were messing around with drugs, doing some bad things, and they got checked by Saturn, by Papa Saturn, right? So they had to go to jail and were in isolation for a bit, and then they got out and got their lives, you know? What else? I know some Sagittarians, yeah, they got engaged. Some of them, they went through a breakup, a bad breakup, but then they ended up being, they ended the transit being engaged to somebody new and super happy, so happy, you know? So there's a lot of serious life changes that have happened. Some of them have had to stop traveling as much, stop flying around all over the place, and like really plant their roots and their foundation down, because Saturn is about building foundations. Like I said, the building instructor, the building inspector, my bad. Mercury's still retrograde, you guys. I'm sorry. Building inspector, architects, all that stuff, Saturn. Okay. So they've had to knock down some structures and rebuild them in their lives. And they're doing all right. You know what I'm saying? They made it out alive. So no fears, guys. Don't fear Papa Saturn so much. It may hurt sometimes, but you know, everybody will be all right. Let's see. Blue Angel says Neptune and Cappy. Yes. So that means you are going to have some transits to your natal Neptune, which can be floating in your own zone. And also be careful for people taking your kindness for weakness. I'm telling you. Gary, Uranus, Neptune conjunction Capricorn in the 8th. Ooh, so this is going to be an interesting transit for Gary of Saturn in Capricorn, because you're going to have some lessons regarding like the outer planet stuff too. Jupiter is dead on my Neptune and Neptune on my Jupiter. Wow, how is that for you? This must be magical. I bet you your intuitive abilities are probably like heightened right now, like really up there. Let's see. Cherry Strawberry says they are ready to live life and wake up smiling. Yes. Okay, Sag and Jupiter in the 9th. I bet you smile really big too. Peace. Okay. Oh, okay. Noel Tile. I've never heard of that person, but I'll have to check them out. They said that this person's about 6'10", basically sit on you and ask, so what you gonna do? Yes. Is he a Capricorn? Sorry, I missed it. All the Sag I know do smile big. Yes. Brother Jerry, Saturn got me set for life. Word up. You'll be 55 in 55 minutes, Miss Mells. Oh my goodness. So you're gonna be going through your second Saturn return, I would assume. Let me know. Tone Metal says, my uncle got off crack. He's a sun in Sag, moon in Taurus. Yes. So Saturn had helped some people who were Sagittarians actually get off of things like drugs. And those of us with Neptune in Sag, Neptune deals with drugs and addictions and things that revolve around escapism in negative ways, you know, and like not being in touch with reality, not being able to do life. That's all Neptune stuff. So some people of the Neptune and Sag generation, they had to deal with that, like being taught lessons about being on drugs, you know. Some of them from that generation were like dropping like flies, to be honest, during the last part of the transit of Saturn and Sag, because Saturn hit up their Neptune and was like, you're going to learn today about these drugs, you know? So for those of you with Neptune and Capricorn, if you do drugs, if you're heavy drinkers and all that, you don't really stay in touch with reality, Papa Saturn is going to tell you you're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Yes. Happy birthday, Miss Mells. Okay. Let's see. Aquarius rising, Leo sun with Neptune and Sag. You had to learn a lot from good friends learn a lot about who good friends are the last couple of years. That is very interesting. Aquarius rising, yeah, because Saturn for Aquarians was in your 11th house of friendships. So that is definitely that transit, learning about who's your acquaintances, who's your real friends, who's just like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, okay, all right. What's up, dog? You give them a handshake and then you just, you know, go your separate ways. Like who is who? Definitely that lesson. As a Sag, I've dealt with breakups, health problems, addiction, and loss. but damn, I'm so strong and ready to live now. Yes, you made it. You made it. All right. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Pisces moon. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, Rafa says your Neptune is in Capricorn. That makes so much sense. Yes. So it's about that time to start learning about Neptune lessons. Anyhow, what else can we talk about with Saturn in the sign of Capricorn before I get into these horoscopes? We already discussed the dates. If you missed that, I will put them below in the description later on. And also you can go back to the beginning of the video for the exact dates of when Saturn's in Capricorn, when it was last in Capricorn, when it was before that. Something else interesting I want to talk about as a collective, Saturn and Capricorn. What are we going to see as a collective? Let's talk. Let's talk about that. Okay. So we already discussed the net neutrality thing. Be prepared to see attempts at more stuff like that, like really cracking down and restricting things that are on the internet, social media, all that stuff, anything to do with expression of yourself in a way that is deemed inappropriate. Because on a negative side, I'm just saying Capricorn energy, it can be a little uptight. It is the energy of maturity, the elderly, having respect, having dignity, having a good reputation, being very poised and unbothered and like, oh, you know, I show no emotion. That is too messy. Like, I am above that and I resolve problems and I build things, and that is what I do. I just do my job and I work. Okay, that's Capricorn energy. And like I said, it's very mature. So it can look at anything as immature as being like, oh no, we gotta nip that in the booty right now. Okay, like we need to check that. It's the energy of parents. Parents are ruled by Saturn, mainly fathers, father figures, the ones that are the disciplinarians. Saturn rules discipline. Saturn can rule punishment. Okay, so because of that, anyone who is doing anything that is this anti-Capricorn maturity, discipline, and all that is going to get checked. So we will start seeing that as a collective, more crackdowns. You guys, it's crazy. Like I should make a whole other video on this topic, but while Saturn is in Capricorn in the next couple years, between now and 2020, we're going to see Pluto's already in Capricorn, been there since 2008, 2009. We'll be there till like 2023, I believe. So Pluto and Capricorn, already very powerful, purging, power, you know, death, destruction, all that stuff is Pluto, right? Transformation, tearing down the old and flushing it out. That's all Pluto. Saturn is now in Capricorn with Pluto. We're also going to see the South Node, which is like an emptying out of things and karma and all that stuff in the sign of Capricorn starting next year, 2018. We're also going to see Jupiter in Capricorn 2020. Let me see, Jupiter 2019 to 2020. So there's going to be some key dates to look out for, to where a lot of these planets are going to all be in a conjunction with one another. And make sure you write these down, make note of them, come back to this video a couple years later or whatever. Look at the world events that are going on during that time. Okay. There's going to be some, I'm not like a political government and all that stuff. I don't really get into a lot of that stuff personally, but I just feel as an intuitive and as an astrologer who looks at all these dates and all this data and all this stuff, I feel like, especially the US, it's going to go through a lot of crazy changes, crazy stuff. Yo, we're going to see some craziness. And it's going to be, like I said, Capricorn can be painful, but it's tough love and it's for the better, right? Yes, definitely. There's going to be some unjust stuff change worldwide. Okay. So, we're going to, let me give you guys some dates, and yeah, maybe I'll do a separate video on this topic and give these dates again, but March 2019, in March 2019, we're going to have Uranus in Taurus. It's going to go there actually in May of 2018 for a few, months. Then it's going to go back into Aries, and then have to go back out of Aries, back into Taurus, and officially back into Taurus in 2019 until for like another 6-7 years, right? So when Uranus is in Taurus, that's another video I got to do because it is deep. But it does go along with the Saturn and Cap because they're both Earth signs. These are both outer planets that affect us in huge ways, personally and collectively. and rule things that like we will start to see changes worldwide and within our own countries and all that. For example, Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is change. It's like doing things different. It's the internet. It's the collective. It's technology. Taurus rules money, food, commerce, products and services. And what are we seeing now? When you think of the two, you do the math with Uranus and Taurus. Aren't people starting to do that Bitcoin thing? That Bitcoin stuff, it's already starting. But once Uranus goes into Taurus, we're going to see more ups and downs with it. Like while it goes into Taurus, back and forth, Taurus to Aries, we're going to see ups and downs. And when it goes into Taurus, we may see that as being a regular thing. Is currency that's more like along the lines of the whole Bitcoin thing, right? We're going to see a shift in our currency. But at the same time, we've got all this Capricorn stuff, which was government and not just the U.S. government. I know I have a lot of U.S. viewers, but rules government in general, people in charge, the military, all that stuff. We're going to see a lot of stuff change with that. In April 2019, we're going to have the South Node conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Both of those in Capricorn. So it's an emptying out and a karmic release of something Pluto and Capricorn related. I don't know what that can mean for the government, like presidents and all that stuff could mean something different that is going to change, you know? And then also in April 2019, the South Node is going to conjunct Saturn in Capricorn. So that's even more of those types of changes. Government, structures of dang, I can't think of the words, but you know what I'm saying, like collectively, like how we are structured and categorized, and in our world, a lot of stuff is going to change. July 4th 2019, and you know, in the US, July 4th, that's our Independence Day, right? Well, that day, Saturn and the South Node are going to be in a conjunction together. Okay, retrograde. Saturn's going to be retrograde on July 4th. So that day could be something significant can happen. I'm just saying. And then July 16th, 2019, we have an eclipse, a full moon eclipse, 24 degrees Capricorn, conjunct Pluto, conjunct Saturn, conjunct the South Node. 2019 is going to be crazy. Okay, it's going to be crazy. And wherever you have Capricorn in your own chart, that's where you will see a lot of like rebuilding, restructuring, coming into realizations about what is not working in your life and stepping up and taking charge of that part of your life, and really being serious about it and taking no mess from anybody, not letting anybody stand in the way of your goals, marching ahead like a soldier, okay, like a no limit soldier. I thought I told you. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying. Bitcoin. Yes, people are experimenting with that, but don't forget the last time that Uranus was in Taurus, though, there was a stock market crash. So I wouldn't invest too much in that at this moment. Just wait maybe a couple years to see the trends and to get the bugs worked out with that whole thing. That's what I would say. That's just my personal take on that. Yeah, don't freak out too bad, you guys. Like I will give the real that times may be different and crazy and full of change, but there's always, like I said, with Capricorn energy, it's about learning how to resist and be resilient. And if you get knocked down, you get knocked down that mountain, because remember, Capricorn is the goat, so that can mean the mountain goat. And you know what they do? It doesn't matter if they gotta like work sideways and like dangle off of shit and everything. It doesn't matter. That goat is gonna make it up there. So think about that with Capricorn energy. No matter what it takes to get up there, you're going to be able to do it if you really tap into the strength of that energy. Capricorn energy, like I said, people always complain on a personal level that they're cold. They're not very like emotional and warm and everything. They hardly show like their emotions or cry or anything. But we need people like that. We need that energy in this world, because otherwise we would just be wallowing in our own tears, not getting a damn thing done, you know? So we need that Capricorn energy like that. We can learn a lot from it. So yeah, let me see what else you guys are saying. Word up. Capricorn marks your presence. Thank you. Capricorn does do that. Capricorn is the energy of the status. Having like that big boss status, okay? It's about your reputation, how people know you, your public reputation. That is Capricorn. And Caps are all about that. I know some people, they can be hard to deal with if you're an emotional and romantic person and you like PDA, for example, like you don't care who's around, you just want to, you know, get a smooch on with your Capricorn. Notice that you'll be like, shh. They'll be like that, like, nah, face palm right in your face, stop you. You're gonna be like, they're gonna be like, bam, right on your lips. No, not in public. You're like, what? Why not? Because we have to be dignified. I have a reputation to maintain. It's like, for real. Hey, we will talk about that energy when it comes to romance another time, but that's just an example of the personality traits of Capricorn energy and how it can act. But it's very business minded, very serious, and like, let's just get things done, you know? So anyway, you were bored before you entered this live chat. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm not boring. Okay. I feel a little more like serious tonight though. Like usually I'm really much more like wacky but you know, the sun and Saturn both together in Cappy is very serious, and it's in my third house of speaking and media and communication. So I really feel more like dropping more knowledge and facts, and like I try not to be boring scientist and stuff like that, but I do feel a little bit more boring scientist tonight. I don't know, but I just really want you guys to be informed. That's like total Cappy. Like I care about you having like serious knowledge, you know? So if I'm not as woo, that's why. So anyway, why don't we get into the horoscopes for every sign? And this is general. Remember, this is general. Sun, moon, or rising sign, how the area of life is going to affect you. And don't forget, I have this special right now. It's only for December for this moment. I might extend it. I'm not sure. But I have a special reading that I'm offering for everybody to do your personal Saturn and Capricorn horoscope to see what planets Saturn will aspect in your personal chart. If you don't have your birth time, it's all good, because even on your birthday, not everything was aligned the same exact as it was, you know, for other people's birthdays. Okay, so it is very personal and unique to you. I give a lot of details. I will give a forecast for the next 3 years of what you need to look out for, how you can build, how you can utilize this energy to the best. Okay, I'll try not to scare. I won't scare you with too much seriousness. I will definitely let you know what is the best thing to do, and of course warn you of any, like, you know, if people are going to try to test you, there's going to be testing times. I'll let you know the exact dates, degrees, all of that. So hit me up for that. Personal Saturn and Capricorn forecast. It's on my website, which is in the comments, or not the comments, the little box below. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I mean. Yes. Building. Okay, so let me just take a little drink real quick, because I'm a Taurus. Taurus rules the voice. If you guys know me by now, I will lose my voice if I don't take a sip of water. First time tuning. Oh, thank you. Thanks for tuning in your first time. I hope you come back again, because I will be doing, I do tend to do these a lot lately. So yeah. What up, Alex? What's that face about? What's that face about, Alex? A little emoji. It doesn't look very happy. All right. Don't let this intense energy get to you guys too much, though. Like, because Saturn and Capricorn, it can rule Lady Leo. Oh, hey, what's up, Lady Leo? I think I talked about you earlier. If you're the same Lady Leo, I think you are. Maybe not. I don't know. But oh, my cup, it says I didn't get out of bed to be ordinary. I mean, to me, this can symbolize like the energy of Saturn too. You know, Saturn is about success. Capricorn is about success. You get up, you throw on your business suit, you grab your briefcase, and you go out there and you be a boss. Okay. So you don't get out of bed just to like be like, you know, just joining into the freaking rat race, like blindly, just for whatever. You know what I'm saying? You go to be great. That's Capricorn energy. I'll tell you guys what. Yeah, my husband is a Capricorn rising. He's got all this other Saturn and 10th house and rulerships, and he was also he's also number 8 life path, and 8 is also associated with Saturn. Uber Saturn dude, right? He always tells me that no matter what type of job he works, he wants to be great. And I used to roll my eyes all the time, like, whatever, because, yo, I'm a 6th houser. We go to work to just hop into that hamster wheel, do our job, collect our check, and go home. But he's always like, you gotta try to strive to be great. And I'm like, that's easy for you to say. I just gotta do my job. But I've learned so much from him as a Capricorn person in my life, very close. I've learned so much from him about striving to be great, you know. So Cappies, gotta give it to you guys with that. That could, oh, thank you. Boss Life. Yes, I'm all about that Boss Life. Barty. Oh, I love Cardi B. I'm gonna have to do her chart on here one day. I love her. I saw her interview with Jimmy Fallon earlier, and she was just being as weird as can be. And I'm like, dude, I relate so much to her with all weird noises and nicknames for stuff. Like, I really want to know her birth time, man, because she is so like crazy and weird. She just does her. I love it. I love it. So anyway, let's get into your horoscopes for every sun, moon, or rising sign, generalized Saturn and Capricorn horoscope. How's it affecting you guys over the next, well, it's 3 years, you know, till 2020. There is a span of time, gap to where it'll go into Aquarius for a little bit and go back to Cappy. But all the Cappy stuff, how's it affecting you? So let's start with Aries, people. So Aries, Saturn and Capricorn, where you can grow, where you can knock down and rebuild, is in the house of career and your public image, okay? The title that you hold. How are you known by people in the public, in your career? Like, what's your status, your social status? That can mean like, it's like when you go up to people, you say, hey, what's up? My name is Aries. And they say, what do you do for a living, Aries? You say, oh, I'm a blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's the 10th house. So you're going to have a chance to structure, restructure, or rebuild, or start something new in that area. Okay, so if you are an Aries that is very business minded, you want to build a business, you want to build a brand, Saturn in the 10th house is that time. Okay, now you will face challenges from others. It could be higher ups, it could be people who are above you in rank or position or whatever, who are putting pressure on you. Sometimes they may make you feel like a dumbass. Okay, and you may want to cry, but you know what, that tough love, you know, you can stick it out. Or you can tell them, hey, you know what? I am a boss myself, and I don't appreciate you trying to boss me around. Like, I'm in charge too. So I'm going to step out of this, what I thought was a good career for me, and I'm going to step into my own zone. I'm going to build my own lane, build my own path, and I'm going to get it, you know? So that's where it's at for Aries people. It's really about building your image. And even if it's not in career, like you're not a career oriented Aries, it's just like who you are, like how people know you. You're going to really be building that. And this makes what's called a square aspect, a challenging aspect to you, to Aries people. So you guys, it's definitely challenging, Saturn and Capricorn. It really is. I'm not going to lie. But you guys will come out so like, Aries people are about getting pumped up, about getting buff and strong and working out. Just think of it as in your whole life, you're going to be working it out, okay? Like, you're going to really be building up yourself to be so much stronger than you were before. And people will respect you. The 10th house is receiving respect from authority figures, respect from them, or having other people respect you. So you will be, in the end, in a really top place in your life to where other people will respect you. They'll respect your authority, okay? So that's for Aries people. Good luck. Cherry Strawberry says she is I think you're a she. I can't really see. I'm sorry. I don't have my spectacles. But yeah, Aries sun, and you're going to be building your own company. Yes, get it. Get it. See? All right. All right. So next up is Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. How is Saturn and Capricorn going to be affecting you guys? Ooh, Tauruses. I'm a Taurus sun, and I'm right there with you guys. Aren't you guys glad it's out of your 8th house? Because let me tell you, the 8th house stuff was too real. It was too real. What I would say is good about Saturn when it was in our 8th house previously was we could have been learning a lot about joining. For an example, me as a Taurus sun, this is what I learned over the last Saturn transit. I did finally get a joint bank account with my husband. Before that, we had separate accounts. Things were messy, like with the money and everything. We couldn't come together. But at the end of that transit, we came together financially. That's not an easy thing about marriage. Partnership is to come together financially, to be on the same page. So we got a joint bank account. We figured out a system. We figured out what works for us. We did go through challenges, yes. But now we're straight, you know, we're on the same page. It's dope. Also, intimacy is the 8th house. And Tauruses, for some Tauruses, their love lives have been dry. Oh my gosh, like not the same. You guys have felt blocked with intimacy. You guys have felt like past trauma just like really was just still lurking and lingering within you, and you just had to deal with that stuff and release it, you know. So maybe there's a release. Now you got your mojo back, and now Saturn is in your 9th house for Tauruses. Excuse me. So this is working on stuff in regards to maybe some Tauruses maybe going back to school. I actually do have a Taurus close to me, and on the day that Saturn went into Capricorn, she messaged me and was like, yo sis, for some reason, I feel like I should go back to school. And I was like, you're feeling it. You're feeling Saturn. Saturn in the 9th, going back to school. Whatever that means for you. Yo, I'm getting my throat dry. I'm sorry, Taurus. I'm talking about Taurus. Taurus rules the throat. Hold up. Let me get a sip. All right. So anyhow, going back to school, mastering something for real. Like maybe even working under an apprentice, working under somebody who can teach you this huge like life skill that can be very beneficial for Tauruses when it comes to career or, you know, who you want to be. Also, you know, the 9th house could be like your ability to have faith and optimism in things, and it can kind of stunt that a little bit or challenge you on it, challenge you what you believed in before. All right. So whatever you guys believed in before, like some Tauruses may be changing their actual belief system that they believe in. That means religion or whatever. You guys may be changing that up and just seeing things from a different perspective to where you want to investigate. You want to know all the details. You know, you want to really educate yourself on some things. Great time for learning. Great time for teaching too. If any Tauruses want to be teachers. I'm a Taurus and I'm somewhat a teacher, but I'm going to become more of a teacher over the next couple of years with my astrology stuff. I'm going to be putting more educational videos out and actually teaching classes, teaching webinars. Yo, I've already got it all mapped out. Of course, Saturn is going to kick me in my butt and challenge me. I know it's not going to be easy, but excuse me, I do plan on doing that as a Taurus. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, so Tauruses, it's about teaching. It's about learning. If you want to travel somewhere, long distances, like go on vacations and stuff, Saturn's energy may tell you like, well, only if it's for business or only if it has a purpose about like traveling. Only if you're going to be learning something, you know, so it may be a little bit harder to get out and travel, but you could travel for the sake of learning though. I'm hoping to travel for business too. So, and I'm a Taurus. So yeah, that's what it is for Tauruses. Good luck. So next up is Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Saturn and Capricorn going to affect you guys? What area of life are you having opportunities to master things? Gemini, I bet you guys are so glad Saturn left your 7th house of relationships alone, hunty, okay? Because whoa, 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 whoa. Like I said in my last live stream, Geminis, you guys have gotten it so bad over the last couple of years. Some of you guys, not all of you, with relationship stuff, some challenges like dealing with infidelity from even your partners. And like I said before, Geminis get a bad rep for being unfaithful. And, you know, they are one of the signs that can get bored easily and be unfaithful more easier than other signs. That is true. But not all you guys are like that. I know some faithful Geminis, and they did the right thing. They got married. They settled down. And they got played. They got cheated on, you know. And they're like, I gave up pimping for this shit? Like, really? Do you know how many, like, potential side pieces I could have had, and I was faithful to you? And you want to mess up? Wow. Wow. Like, for real. So now you guys can get back to pimping, Gemini. For some of you guys, for some of you, it may have been a rocky ride with relationships, but some of you guys may have earned in the end a more solid foundation in your marriage, in your relationships, ended it with a solid relationship that's committed long-term. You're happy, you know, an engagement, stuff like that. Or maybe you're now happily single and, excuse me, I do know a couple of them that are now happily single. Now they got to work out the whole divorce thing, which is where Saturn is going to be moving to your 8th house. The 8th house can rule joining forces with somebody on an intimate level or on a financial level and really working hard at it together to merge and all that stuff. But also it could be if some of you guys had to separate and divorce, working on the separation process of unmerging from a person. I don't know if that's a real word, but it's a word in my world, okay? separating, distancing. Lord have mercy, Mercury retrograde. Oh my God. Separating yourself, like canceling those bank accounts, canceling those loans, like, okay, this belongs to you, this belongs to me, custody of the children, who's going to get what, like all that stuff. Some Geminis are going to be dealing with that. Or just, you know, separating your energy from another's, because when you get together with somebody, it's more, and I know Capricorns, I'm sorry, Geminis are very, you guys are an air sign, you can be very surface level. You guys can be the type of people that can hook up with somebody and it doesn't mean anything to you emotionally. Like, you could just get rid of them after that, out of your mind, be like, oh, I don't even remember their name. Like, who cares, right? But you guys have to understand it's an energetic exchange when you hook up with somebody, when you allow them into your personal space, you know? So you could be facing like, wow, I really let this type of person into my energy field, like for real. And separating yourself from that, learning to let go of like old past, like people, trauma, drama, all that stuff. Like, you guys are going to be working through that. But also, some Geminis, you guys could be working on business entrepreneurship, because the 8th house could be having employees underneath you and receiving income from other sources, like building some sort of empire to where you could just kick up your feet and just chill. And money just comes to you. You just have it already out there generating. You create some products and services that are already done. They're made. All you got to do is sell them. That's another thing. Geminis are really great entrepreneurs, salespeople. So some of you guys could be doing that with the Saturn energy. So it ain't all bad. It's not all emotional and stuff. It's not all divorce and all that. It's a lot of different things. So you can really master some 8th house stuff. Mastering 8th house stuff. 8th house can rule intimacy and the act of intimacy. So some of you guys, Geminis, you could be learning. You guys like to learn, right? Learning how to master the 8th house in a, you know, in a wink, wink type of way. You know what I'm saying? So that's for Gemini. Best of luck. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Saturn and Capricorn affecting you guys? Where can you master? Where may you see challenges and have tough love? Well, this is in your 7th house of relationships. Okay. So this is your 7th house. This is a time to where Cancers, you guys actually, you may see some ups and downs of your relationship. Your relationship may be tested. It may be. I have seen it happen. I'm just being honest. I'm not being like fatalistic and, ooh, you're going to get a divorce. Ooh. It's not always that. Test, whatever tests mean to you, you will be tested. And to be forewarned is to be forearmed, Cancer. Okay, so if you know Saturn's going to be testing you in your relationship area, you could be prepared and be like, okay, well, if something happens and we're tested, I know that this is like a time frame that's temporary and we can utilize it to build a stronger foundation within our marriage or relationship or whatever. So we can do this. We can overcome this. It's not, oh my God, the world's ending. My relationship. It's not that. It's not forever. It's like, okay, just a rough patch, a hill that you got to get over. All right. So you guys may be tested with your relationships, but a lot of times when people are tested, they say that it brings them stronger and closer together. You guys may have, if you're a single Cancer, actually some Cancers may be getting married because Saturn solidifies. Okay. So you guys may be getting married and engaged and stuff like that. So you guys may have the opportunity to really have some seriousness in a good way with your relationships. Some Cancers will have to work some things out, like really take a good look at themselves and how they act in relationships and be tested on that. Maybe you're single, you're dating around and you kind of kiss a few frogs, you meet a few duds or whatever, a few suckers, a few bustas, you know, a few like chicks that are just, oh my gosh, like you're challenged in that way. But those are your tests, are those people that are brought to you to test you. Saturn's going to be sitting on you like, what you going to do? Are you going to go after that hood rat or are you going to find a good woman? You know, what you going to do? Are you going to allow this like thugnificent dude who is a loser into your world? Or are you going to like save yourself for somebody who you can build with? You know what I'm saying? So those can be the kind of tests that Cancers may have too. So it's all about relationships. Hopefully you guys going to get, you know, you learn, hopefully you guys learn a lot about relationships over the next few years in a good, positive way. It's not all scary. I know Cancer's gonna be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. No, not always. You know, just lessons can be tough, but you come out so much stronger in the end, Cancer. So I hope to hear some of you guys say, yo, I got engaged, I got married, or I got rid of that loser and I'm happy. It could bring some happiness, yes, if you work. Okay, W-E-R-K, Cancer, on those relationships. So next up is Leo. I almost said Gemini. Lord have mercy. Next up is Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is the Saturn and Capricorn transit affecting you guys? Where can you master? Where can you build? Where will you have big lessons? So this is going to be in your 6th house for Leo. So for Leo, you guys over the last couple of years have had Saturn in your 5th house. And sorry, Cancer, I forgot to reflect back on for you guys too. But for Leo, yes, it's been in your 5th house. It's been in the house of romance and of Leo stuff, like fun, excitement, dating, hobbies, creative stuff, creative talents, and all that stuff. And in your children, that's where Saturn's challenges have been over the last few years. So you guys made it out. Okay, the blocks are out of your romance area. So now it's time to get it with that romance. Maybe some of you Leos have built a business out of a hobby, out of something creative that you have talent in. So maybe you had to like, maybe you mastered a talent like during that time. Maybe not necessarily build a business out of it, but like you really mastered like some really dope things and had an opportunity to share with people. Now you do. Now you have an opportunity to share your creative projects and stuff like that. So it could be good for that. But, or maybe some of your children were unruly and you had to put the smack down a lot more. Maybe some of you guys wanted to have children and you felt like blocked, you know, but maybe now that's released. Saturn is out of your 5th house. Now it's moving to the 6th. Okay. This is work. This is hard work with work. Okay. So some Leos, and I know Leos really like leadership and being in charge for the most part too. Leos really, like to be recognized and celebrated. You guys like to be celebrated even in your workplace. You like for people to be like, yo, there's Leo walking in, shining. Hey, what's up, Leo? Everybody look at Leo. Leo's like, yes, I'm here. Haha, yes, it is I. So you guys, when Saturn enters your work house, maybe you guys may not get as much shine. Okay, some of you may not get as much shine during this time. I'm just letting you know the truth. Some of you guys may be given an opportunity to where you are given much more harder work, much more of a heavier workload. And it may be not be as fun at your job, but in the end, if you stick it through, you will be able to have a position that is top dog, okay, to where you will shine even more than you did before. Because a lot of times Leo energy, they don't have to do nothing. Like they just walk in, they shine, everybody likes them, everybody admires them. You barely have to work. You could charm people, you know, but you will have to be doing some hard work. Your charm isn't going to get you as far as it did before when it comes to your jobs. During the Saturn transit, Leo, I'm just letting you know the truth. So hard work. Some of you guys may have to step down a little bit, may have to step down from a position and go to one that maybe doesn't pay as much, doesn't have as much recognition at first, but you have an opportunity to climb that mountain, an even taller one, to where you'll be really standing tall in the end, you know? Some of you guys may have pressure put on you at work by higher ups, and it can be tough. Like when Cancers went through this last year, I had a lot of Cancers get career readings from me because they were like, oh my gosh, I'm at my wit's end. Like I've been at this job forever. I don't know if I could take it anymore. I feel underappreciated. People are on my ass. Bosses are giving me a hard time. What do I do? Because they felt the pressure of Saturn, you know. But if you're forewarned, Leo, maybe you can know like, okay, I may be pressured, but I'm gonna plan out how I'm gonna handle it though, you know. So let's see. I hate where Leo is right now. I don't like work. I like fun. Oh, I know you guys like fun, but you know what though? Hard work can equal, like I said, more recognition. Maybe you guys will be in a position at the end of this transit to where you'll have more free time to actually have fun, because Maybe you'll be paid on salary, or like you'll have this dope job that pays so much that you only have to work a couple days a week. The rest of the time could be fun, you know, so just look at it that way for Leo people. It's also about health. Leos, I am telling you guys, over the next couple of years, really take care of your health. Starting now, take care of your health, please, my Leo people. Pluto's already been in your house of health over the last, like almost 10 years now. Probably transforming the way that you do things with your health, your exercise, your diet, all that stuff. Saturn is going to put you to work there. Saturn is going to be like, okay, all right, Pluto's been purging things out. Now I'm going to show you how to structure and organize and balance and all that stuff. Your health, how you take care of yourself. Take care of yourselves. I can't stress that enough, Leo. Please do. Get rid of, Saturn will help you to do things like get rid of bad habits. Okay, like if you smoke too much, drink too much, bad diet, all that stuff. Products that you use that are toxic in your environment or on your body, whatever. Leo, listen, seriously, take that into consideration. Take it seriously. Take care of yourselves. Because Saturn in the 6th house, sometimes it can bring up health issues, but it's to bring it to your attention so you can get it corrected and all that good stuff, you know? So take care of your health, Leos, for real, for real, for real. So next up is Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. How is Saturn and Capricorn affecting you guys? What are your opportunities for mastery? Where may you receive challenges? This is happening in your 5th house. But before that, it was in your 4th house for Virgos. Virgos, you guys went through it. I already discussed a little bit earlier about Virgos and how it affected you guys with your family life. Some of you guys had challenges with where you live. You had to move around. It was hard to find a comfortable place to live. Some of you had to like move back in with family or with parents, and it was tough. Some of you guys had to take care of elderly or younger family members or disabled or sick family members. Some of you guys had to really, excuse me, take care of people. Some of you guys actually had some good things happen to where you actually had a house built. In the end, you felt like you found a place to finally call home. And it was somewhere where you can stay for a really long time, okay? So yeah, Virgos, it was tough. It was a tough ride. But guess what? You don't have to see Saturn in that part of your world for another like 28 to 30 years, okay? Now it's shifting into the 5th house. Shifting into the 5th house. Oh, for your to answer your question, Soul, I forgot your name. Merkaba. Okay. I'm talking about ascendant sun and moon signs. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's ascendant, sun, or moon. It's still gonna affect you guys. Excuse me. So now I'm talking about Virgo. Saturn is moving into your 5th house, and this is excuse me, Saturn in the 5th house. This is mastery of creative talent. Yes, Virgos, you guys can be creative. I know you can be very practical, logical. You can work like regular schmegular jobs and be service people. But guess what? If you have a creative talent, this is a time where you can turn it into a business. And maybe you don't have to be in that hamster wheel all the time, you know, just like grinding every day just to get a check, just so you could complain about your coworkers to everybody because you notice every annoying thing that they do. Okay, I know what that's all about. I have some Virgo-esque energy in my own chart. I have 6th house energy that's like Virgo. So I know what it's like. Coworkers are annoying. Bosses could be annoying. Customers could be annoying. I get it. But if you don't like that lifestyle, you have an opportunity to build one that is to where you could be doing something you love, you're passionate about, your heart actually feels great doing it, and you can turn it into a business venture, an opportunity. You can go back and learn some creative things, relearn some stuff, master some stuff, and actually enjoy your work. You know what I'm saying, Virgo? When it comes to the romance department, you guys may be a little blocked there. Blocked, not completely like, oh my God, it's just completely dry and there's nothing. No, it could be mastering that too and learning some lessons about dating, like, excuse me, how to be more selective with your dating partners, Virgo. As if Virgos aren't selective enough. I know. But a lot of times Virgo energy, as selective and picky as it can be, Virgo's 7th house of relationships is Pisces. So a lot of times you guys can let people in because you feel sorry for them. You want to fix them. You see that they're like a big project that you can just work on and fix. And therefore you end up with these messy ass people that have problems, addictions, and all this stuff where they're just like, oh, woe is me, I need you to take care of me. And Virgos are really like, okay, well, that's my duty. It is my duty, ma'am, to like serve and protect and take care. So you might end up dating people like that. But Saturn in the 5th can teach you, no, learn how to weed out the potential losers and people that are going to latch onto you and use you, and like, it won't, you know, just not be able to enjoy dating, you know. Saturn will help you to weed those people out, to put up a barrier, because Saturn is about barriers and walls. Put that wall up towards losers, Virgo people, okay? So it'll teach you about that. And because of that, you may feel like the romance department, the dating department is a little dry, because Saturn is going to keep, you know, keep some people away from you that are just no bueno, okay? So yes, dating won't be as there won't be as an abundance of prospects, but in the end, you can end up with something solid, with somebody that really goes along with your ideals when it comes to romance and what you really truly want. All right. Also, some of you guys, Virgos, your kids, you may have a little bit of times to where you have to spend more time on them. No more thoughties. Yes, no more thoughts. Hoochies, hood rats, losers, thugnificents, gangstalicious, none of them, okay? Saturn's going to make them go bye-bye. But yeah, some of you guys with your kids, they may be a little bit more responsibility for you, whatever that means for you, Virgo. You may have to spend more time with them. You may have to work on some things with your kids. They may need you a little bit more over the next couple of years if you have kids. You may have to discipline them a little bit more, stuff like that as well. So yes, that's for Virgo. Best of luck to you guys. Next up is Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Saturn and Capricorn affecting you guys? Where can you master? Where are you going to learn today? All right. So for Libras, this is in your 4th house of home and family life. So before that, Saturn was in your 3rd house. Saturn in the 3rd, not really too bad of a spot for Saturn to be honest. So Libras, your biggest challenges over the last couple of years are probably with communication. Maybe some of you guys, your siblings kind of gave you a little shit sometimes, you know, a little bit of trouble. For some Libra people, you guys may have actually done things like taken classes, gotten certifications, you know, learned some new things, mastered some new skills. Now you can use those for business. Moving along to some more serious area of your life, which is the 4th house. So this is an opportunity for you guys to build more of a solid foundation when it comes to where you call home and who you call family. So some of you guys, Libra is an air sign. Air signs are very surface level. So that's why you guys can get along with lots of different people. It doesn't matter if they're blood related or, you know, they're a close circle. It doesn't matter. Libra can talk to anybody and get along with them. But you guys may start to become a little bit more low-key with Saturn in the 4th. And sometimes you guys may like see certain people as like, oh, they're like family to me. I let them in my heart and in my home. Now you guys might be more selective about that. Saturn may weed those type of people out. Even family members that are blood to you, Libra, that are not treating you right, that are maybe using you, they are toxic people. Saturn in the 4th is going to help you to get rid of those people. It's going to be like, nope, they're out. And it can be painful at times. I'll tell you the truth. It can be difficult, but you know what? It's necessary. That tough love is necessary for the betterment of your own life, okay? If anybody's toxic. Also, some of you guys may have responsibilities that you have to step up and take over when it comes to family, taking, excuse me, taking over some family responsibilities for maybe elderly, disabled, younger family members. Take them in and you know, nurture them and take care of them, teach them and all that good stuff. Some of you guys may be starting your own family, like getting married, having kids, you know, moving in with somebody and learning how to live with another person and build a life with them. That could be also Saturn in the 4th house. Gary, what's up, Gary? Thanks for coming through again tonight. Gary's a Libra and said he just finished college. Dope. Good for you, Gary. So some other Libras may be able to feel that, you know, mastering education the last couple of years. But now it's about family. You know, where do you call home? Do you have a place that's comfortable, that you feel secure? You know, it's dealing with that, building that. Some of you guys actually may have some, like, maybe some childhood stuff come up from the past that you got to work on. you know, but in the end, it's like this karmic stuff that you work with, that you get rid of anything that's toxic emotionally to you, and you heal from that and you move on and you're happy, you know. So in the end, you guys may end up with a happy home, a happy family life, happier family life. And, you know, some lessons learned about who you let into your little bubble, you know what I mean? And into your heart. So that's for Libra people. Excuse me. Next up is Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. How is Saturn and Cappy affecting you guys? Where are you going to learn today? What can you master? For Scorpios. Now, Scorpio, we just finished having Saturn in our second house of money. Hallelujah, it's out of there, right? Because Scorpios, we are about security. We're about, you know, having money in the bank saved for a rainy day. We don't like anything like being broke or spontaneous stuff when it comes to money. Like, Scorpios don't really dig that. We'd like to be secure. We'd like to be prepared. So anyhow, Saturn in the second, it was a little rough financially for some of us, but some of us ended up with like really dope jobs, really dope careers, businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't all bad. I mean, it was challenging, but look where we are now, Scorpio. You know, just got to reflect back on the good with that. Some of us may have lost jobs or had to quit jobs because we couldn't take it anymore, and maybe had to step down to like something with lower pay, but we had more of a peace of mind and opportunities to climb the ladder, climb the mountain. But now Saturn's moving to the third house. This is mastery when it comes to education, skills, learning, even teaching, also media, some media work. If you want to start anything that has to do with media, social media, reaching lots of people, communication, Scorpio, this is a good time for that. Also, yeah, so it's a good time to maybe go back to school. And like, I had a friend hit me up. She's a Taurus sun and a Scorpio rising, just like me. And as I mentioned earlier, she hit me up the day to the T Saturn went into Capricorn and said, you know what, sis, I feel like I should go back to school. I'm looking into school today. And I'm like, yo, you're feeling it. You're feeling the energy. Like, you're going along with the flow of Saturn in Capricorn. So that's really good. It doesn't have to be college. It could be just taking some classes or relearning things. Like, for example, I'm a Scorpio rising, and as I mentioned earlier with the Taurus example, because I'm also a Taurus, I'm going to be teaching. I'm also going to be learning some more astrology stuff, some more media stuff, mastering that to give more to you guys here on my channel and on my platforms, and relearning some things like, yo, there's a lot of layers to astrology, especially there's so many layers. Like, there's asteroids, there's this, there's that. There's different house systems and all kinds of stuff. And like, I used to be really dope with asteroids. And then it's kind of like, if you don't use it, you lose it type of thing. Now I want to go back and learn some more asteroid stuff and share that stuff with you guys, because asteroids are a trip. Let me tell you, they can tell so many more details of your life story and other people's life story. They could tell many details, even down to somebody's name. All those asteroids up there are named, you guys. So there's some that are named, and you can find them in your chart and see why you have a certain type of relationship or energy exchange with someone of that particular name. Okay. It gets that crazy and detailed. I used to be dope with it. Now I'm like, who, what, where? Like, I only know a little bit. So I'm going to go back and master that with Saturn in the third as a Scorpio rising, and start teaching you guys more stuff like that, incorporating it into your readings, especially the love readings, and seeing when that person's name lands in your chart. Oh, the tea will be spilled, okay? Like, the truth will be revealed even more. So anyhow, I just use that as an example of mastery with skills and relearning skills in order to use it for business or for anything in life to make your life better. I guess the challenges with Saturn in the third is since the third house can rule your thinking, your thinking processes and stuff like that, we may be a little bit more serious. I mean, Scorpio is already pretty serious as it is for the most part. The energy of Scorpio itself, very serious. We may be more serious minded, and some of us may be more stubborn minded and like just not accepting things. And when people say stuff, we won't let it fly. We won't let it pass. We'll be like, no, I'm sorry, but no, you know, a lot more stern in our thinking and our communication. We may be like that. That's the only real challenge that I see. Maybe some challenges for some people with their siblings or something like that. Hopefully I don't have that. But most of my siblings are Capricorn and Taurus and Scorpio, and we get along pretty good. But anyway, so, you know, that's what it is for Scorpios. It's Saturn's leaving your money alone, so you can do a little dance about that. And now it's on to learning, mastering, relearning, and media, communications, all that good stuff. So next up is Sag. Sag, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Saturn in Okay. How is Saturn in Capricorn affecting Sagittarius? Oh my God. So Saggies, you made it. If you're still here, if you're watching this, yo, you made it. You made it through. You made it through Saturn in your sign. Drill Sergeant Saturn, he worked you guys, okay? He made you drop down and give him 1,000, all right? Every day. I know it was tough. Some of you guys, actually, it wasn't too tough. It was like more about really getting your life together, all right? You're really getting your life together in a great way to where now you feel more secure with yourself, with who you are, with where you are in life, with who you have in your life, who you allow in your life. Saturn is about boundaries. So with it being in the first house of the self, it could have been you putting up boundaries and not letting any more people in your life to cross that boundary, you know, when they are losers, they're just like not good for you. They don't benefit you. They use you or abuse you or whatever. So some of you guys could have had Drill Sergeant Saturn in your ear telling you no. And then in the end, you learn how to say no to certain people, you know, not letting people step on you too. Saggies could be very nice people. In general, Sag energy is very happy-go-lucky, nice, positive, optimistic. People can like do them wrong. They'll be mad for a second. Then they'll be like, you know what? Never mind. I'm good now, you know? And that's cool. You guys have that attitude, but sometimes people will think they got over on you. But Saturn in your sign probably taught you to say, no, I'm sorry. You're not going to get over on me. I'm not going to be Mr. or Miss Happy-Go-Lucky about this situation. I'm going to speak my mind and my opinion and let you know. I'm going to tell you a few things about yourself, okay? So some Saggies had to go through that. And you came out like that in the end, much stronger of a person and able to put up those boundaries. So you made it, Sag. You made it. Now, Saturn is in your second house. It's in your second house of earned income, okay, your self-worth, your value. So now you guys are going to have to maybe buckle down a little bit financially. But a lot of times Saturn in the second means you buckle down financially, not necessarily because things are snatched away. It's because it's like you've made yourself buckle down financially because you want to save for something big, for an example, like you want to save up for a house or to buy a new car, or like invest in something that's really going to have a great return, because Saturn is about the long term. When it comes to investments and money, it's about long-term investments. Like when I had Saturn in my second and last couple of years, Sagittarius, anything that I bought, anything I purchased, I heard Saturn in my ear, literally heard Saturn in my ear asking me, do you really need that? Or do you just want it? Does that serve a purpose? Is it going to be an investment? How long is that going to last? Is that good quality? Is this going to, boost your business in any way? I felt like I couldn't spend money or go on vacation and I did go on a couple of vacations when Saturn was in my second house, Sagittarius, but I still had Saturn in my ear telling me to work. So I would film videos, horoscope videos and stuff, and do people's readings while on vacation in the hotel and everything, okay? So Saturn says you need to work, like no matter what. You need to build, you need to invest, you need to save. So you guys may be going through that financially over the next couple of years. You may have situations to where you change jobs, and it may not always be the prettiest situation or the most like happiest and most fun situation with changing jobs. But just know that it's for the long term. It's to build, it's to have a solid ground to grow and like really make it to the top one day at a job, or however it is that you make your money, Sagittarius, so that you can get back to like, hey, money over here, money over there, gambling and traveling and all that stuff the Saggies love to do. And Saggies love to just pretend like bank accounts, like limits and all that stuff don't exist. They just like to cha-ching all over the place, just swipe and go and enjoy. You know what I'm saying? But you guys may be challenged with that, though. I'm just letting you know you may be challenged with that. So try not to, if you overdo the spending, you guys will have Saturn like sit on you all heavy with his arms folded and be like, what you gonna do? What do you think you're doing with that credit card? Oh no, I'm sorry, Sag. You gonna learn today. So it's all about the finances, building wealth. You can do it. Build that wealth, guys. So that way you can enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourself. All right. So next up is Capricorn. OMG. I got to take a sip for this so I can have my full voice to talk to you Capricorns about Saturn in your sign. So just give me a second. I need some tea, man. Some warm tea to spill this tea for you Capricorns. So Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Saturn in your sign over the next couple of years. How is it affecting you guys? Where do you have opportunities to build? Actually, see, Saturn is the ruling planet of Capricorn, right? So when your ruling planet comes home to its own sign, it feels good, okay? Listen, I think of Saturn and Capricorn. I think of like an older dude in his office. Now Saturn is sitting in his office chair, kicked back with a cigar, all these books around him and awards and achievements and accomplishments. And he's chilling, man. He's even spinning in that chair like, yes, I'm here. He's doing that for a second, comfortable, right? Then he's going to be like, okay, hands on the desk. Now it's time to get to work. It's time to make some plans. It's time to get some goals in order. It's time to get serious, okay? Left, right, left, march ahead. You know what I'm saying? I got to put on those boots, put on the camouflage. And it's so funny because like I told you guys earlier, my husband's a Capricorn rising. And the day Saturn went into Capricorn, all of a sudden he was just wearing anything he had with camouflage. This army green color. That's why I'm wearing this color today, actually. That army green color, he was wearing that. He has this jacket with this color and like these patches that look military-esque. He was wearing all that stuff that day. And he was like, I'm up. Let's go. Let's get out early. Let's run some errands. Let's do this. Let's do that. And talking to me the whole time we were out running errands about his goals to be a businessman, to start businesses, what his goals are. You know what I'm saying? So for some Capricorns, that's what it's about for you guys. You guys feel more like, some of you guys may be feeling the heaviness of Saturn. Indeed, you may be. Especially if you're a younger Capricorn. You may feel more like, oh man, like playtime is over. It's time to grow up. Like I've got some serious things to think about. You know what I'm saying? I have a younger Capricorn friend that hit me up and they were like, yeah, I feel depressed. I feel like I just disconnected and like, I don't like looking around at their world. Like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want that. I don't want this. But like, I feel bad. Like I've got to change all this stuff for real. So they feel like that. And it's kind of weighing heavily on them. But some Capricorns feel energized. Like you guys feel in your element, even a little bit lighter. Okay. Like that 12th house transit of Saturn in the 12th was heavy for Capricorn. It was difficult because it's in a very emotional place. And Capricorns, you guys are not the most emotional creatures. You guys are more like you know, more business-like, more about just marching in and getting things done and, you know, not sitting there crying, not wallowing. And Saturn in the 12th, like one of my Cappy followers told me that they just kind of felt like floating, like they're just kind of lacking in direction in a way. They don't know where they're going, and Capricorns love to have direction and goals. So it was tough. I know it was tough. Some Capricorns were forced into isolation over the last few years. Some could have gone to jail. Okay, some of y'all could have been locked up or something and had to learn about life lessons that way. Some of you guys could have just been in a situation to where maybe you were tied down and strapped financially, or you had a lot of responsibility on you that kept you from actually like getting out and being social and everything. I know some Cappies that went through that. And so they were just indoors all the time, like Netflix and chilling, or, you know, they just worked and came home and didn't really do much. They weren't able to celebrate like really enjoy the fruits of their labor, which Capricorns, you guys love to do that. And sometimes love to splurge on nice things, you know, and floss and flex a little bit because you worked hard for that. So some of you guys were maybe not really able to do that as much, and it was difficult. But now Saturn in your sign, it should be feeling energized, brand new. It's time to get to work. It's time to work hard and then enjoy yourself. Enjoy what you worked for, you know. So Grace says, hey, what's up, Grace? Grace says, my ascendant is 9 degrees Capricorn. I looked ahead and Saturn will be retrograding at 9 degrees Capricorn. Does that mean I'll never escape this 12th house drama? I feel like I have no control. Oh, girl, I'm so sorry you feel that way, Grace. It doesn't mean you won't escape it. It's just going to be a review and a revising of some things. Definitely, it will be. And once Saturn has kicked into the sign of Capricorn, even if it doesn't meet that degree of your rising just yet, just to get a little nerdy here, you will automatically have the shift of Saturn and Capricorn begin, okay? It'll already begin. And the closer the Saturn gets to your ascendant, or if you have like sun or moon or anything else in Capricorn and you're watching this, the closer it gets to the degree of your Capricorn planet or placement, the stronger the energy will feel. But as soon as it gets into that sign, it's already a shift that's happening. So no, it may still like be in the 12th house, but at the same time, it still has that Capricorn, Saturn and Cappy, Saturn in the first, you're preparing for it. It's like a build up, okay? And like getting away from the 12th, building up to the first house stuff. Then once it gets permanent, I mean, not permanently, but like once it goes into that 9th degree and starts moving forward, bam, it's all about moving forward, not so much looking back at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Grace, I hope that answered your question. I know I get really nerdy and stuff, but it doesn't mean there's never ending drama with the 12th house. Like, you know, I know you feel like you don't have control. You'll be easing up out of that slowly starting right now. Okay, so I hope that helps you. All right. So anyway, for Capricorns, yes, time for business. It's showtime. It's time to build yourself up to be the best. And you guys, oh my gosh, it's going to be so crazy. Excuse me. It's going to be so crazy for you guys over the next couple of years with all the other planets in Capricorn too. So you guys, if you want a Saturn and Capricorn personal forecast, hit me up. I will let you know how Saturn is going to affect you in Capricorn. And when it meets with the South Node, Pluto, Jupiter, all that stuff, I will give you a personal forecast. That'll be included. It's really freaking huge. I was about to say it, I swear, a worse word, but it's that huge, you know, for you guys. It's a time of gaining lots of strength and power, and I'll let you guys know how to utilize it the best on a personal level. But just focusing on Saturn for you guys, it's really about your life path, who you are, your identity. You guys may at times feel like you have that drill sergeant on your back too, telling you no, 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 blocking things that are not for you, you know, and maybe putting challenges in your path and you go through it and it's tough and then it's taken away. Then you look back like, yo, why was this even put in my path if it's just like bad for me and going to be snatched away? But then you can see it from a different perspective later and be like, okay, you know what? I get it. I get it, you know, and it's another medal on your military attire, your military jacket or whatever, Capricorn. You're going to be earning a lot of those medals, okay, over the next couple of years. Excuse me. So you guys could be doing things like going back to school as well, getting different jobs, getting married, getting divorced, becoming parents for the first time, or having more children. Anything that's a serious life event, Cappies are going to be experiencing it. You guys are going to be ready to tackle it head on. And I really wish you guys all the best with that. All right. So next up, woo, Capricorns. Man, you guys are so resilient, and you're going to be gaining even more strength and resilience. I guess that's like the biggest thing I have to say. Like, wow, it's going to be an amazing time. Amazing ride for you guys. So next up is Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We are going on 2 hours here, y'all, but I will be putting timestamps. Don't worry. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Saturn and Cappy affecting you guys?
What are your biggest challenges? What is your area of focus and mastery? Excuse me. Oh my gosh. So for Aquarius, this is going to be in your 12th house. Now, previously it was in your 11th house. As one of the people in the chat mentioned earlier, as an Aquarius rising, you guys really learned a lot about friends. You know, some of you guys could have lost some friends and acquaintances over the last couple of years due to really seeing them for who they really are, because Saturn will tell you to say no. No to people who are just toxic and you have them in your circle, but you're very lighthearted. You're an air sign. You're very friendly. You know, so who's a friend versus acquaintance is what Aquarius is we're learning a lot about. My God, I'm sorry. Hold on, you guys. I'm so sorry. I wonder if my husband's still up. Maybe I can text him to bring me some dang tea, man. But anyway, Aquarius, that was your biggest lesson. And some of you guys could have came out of Saturn in the 11th house really building like a website or a social media platform, branding and rebranding, and putting yourself out there. Maybe you had to learn some hard lessons about it, like work out some kinks and bugs. But maybe some of you guys really ended up with a great network of people that are really like people that are your peoples. You know what I'm saying? They're true to you. They're not just like leeches or anything, you know. So that was what it was for Aquarius. Now it's Saturn in the 12th house, and this is hold on, let me text my husband to see if he can bring me some tea so I can have my voice for the rest of your horoscopes. So now for Aquarius, you guys are the sign of technology, and so I hope you guys don't mind me using my phone really quick. So anyway, Aquarius, now it's in your 12th house. So this could be a time of reflection. It's definitely a reflective time for you guys. The 12th house is reflection. It's taking time out away from people socially as much as you usually would be out there, and focusing more on your inner self. And Aquarius is, I know how you guys are. You are another sign that doesn't like to wallow in emotions. You don't like to wallow in feelings and just sit there and feel and all that. But the Saturn in the 12th house, it may have you guys doing that, sitting there and feeling. And you guys, it may feel uncomfortable sometimes. Honestly, it may. But just take it as a time to really look at your life, like back over the last several years, your whole life, whatever. Look back at your life and see like, what have you not achieved? What do you want to achieve? What are your goals for the future? And start planning that stuff. Because when Saturn goes in your sign, Saturn is a co-ruler of the sign of Aquarius. So when Saturn goes into Aquarius in a few years, then you'll be ready to take action. But now it's more about planning, getting things together, and being sometimes in more isolation. So you guys won't be always the big socialite during this time, to be honest. You guys will be more like just kind of chilling under the radar. Like, nah, you know what? Telling your friends, hey, are you going to go here, Aquarius? You're going to go there? You're going to meet us up? Nah, you know what? I got things to do. You may have some more serious life things to take care of during this time. It's a really good time for any Aquariuses if you guys have any issues with addiction or emotional or mental instabilities. This is a time where you guys can really just go within and work on those things, you know. And you may be challenged. I mean, there was somebody earlier in the chat who said Saturn in their 12th house really challenged them with drugs and stuff. I believe it was Saturn in the 12th. Really challenged them with addictions and stuff, and helping them to get rid of anything. It doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. It could be anything that you use to escape reality, escape the world, to where you don't really face your problems. You could be really challenged and assisted with Saturn with how to face things and how to deal with them and cope better, okay, rather than negative, unhealthy ways of doing it. So what I can advise you guys to do when Saturn's in your 12th house, Aquarius, definitely, if you haven't already, get into stuff like, okay, Alex is leaving me little emojis that have to do with religious symbols. Yes, get into things like religion or spirituality. Let's just say spirituality. Get into spirituality. Tap more into your spiritual side. you'll be working on your spiritual side, and you'll have some guardian angels looking out for you on the other side. When Saturn's in the 12th house, they may like be telling you things in your ear like, why are you doing that? Okay, all right, don't listen to me now, you know. But it's a good time to tap into spirituality a lot more, to master things like spirituality. Do things like yoga, meditation, anything that's like energy related, and feelings and intuition. Tap more into that, Aquarius, and I guarantee you, you can master that stuff during this time. Let me tell you something positive about Saturn in the 12th, all right? I went through Saturn in the 12th house years ago, and during this time, that's when I mastered more knowledge of astrology. The most I had ever mastered ever in my life was Saturn in the 12th. You know why? Because I did isolate myself socially, yes. And as I'm a social introvert. Okay, that's kind of complicated, but yes, I can be a very social person. I have Jupiter in the 11th, so I like to, just like Aquarius, and I have Uranus in the 1st house that rules Aquarius. So I'm very Aquarian in nature too, just like you guys. I like to have big groups of friends, hang out in different circles, different crowds, go to events all the time, and just be out around people, networking and all that stuff. But Saturn in the 12th, I wasn't doing that as much. People were, hey, you want to go here? You want to? Nah. Guess what I was doing? I was at home studying astrology. I was mastering it. I was reading. I was researching. I was reading a lot of books. I spent a lot of time in the library when Saturn was in the 12th house. In the library, in the bookstore, any chance I had to get my hands on books and knowledge, the internet, even reading articles, watching videos, all that stuff. Mastering a craft. Okay, so if there's any craft you guys want to master, Aquarius, Saturn in the 12th is a really good time to do that. Like I said, it won't be as fun socially, but you will come out a grandmaster. Okay, I promise you that. You will be really dope with whatever it is that you want to achieve and learn about. And then you will be unstoppable, honey. Okay, when Saturn goes into your sign, into Aquarius in a few years, you will be a beast. All right, so go into that beast mode. Learn, research, yoga, meditation, all of that, like what does that fall under? Like spiritual type of stuff. Really get more into that, and it'll help you, because you may have some other things come back to you karmically and emotionally that you'll need a little help with, you know. So anyhow, that's it for Aquarius. Next up is Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How is Saturn in Capricorn affecting you guys? What are your biggest lessons? What are your challenges? What can you master? So for Pisces, this is in your 11th house. And OMG, aren't you guys glad Saturn's out of the 10th house? Woo! That was really that. You got to follow your sergeant's directions, or get your, you know what I'm saying? Get your butt kicked. If you know Eazy-E, just fill in the blanks. You already know the rest of that line, okay? Saturn in the 10th house was really like that. It was a time of maybe you guys built a dope career, a dope name for yourself. Maybe you were challenged. Maybe you tried to build a good rep for yourself, and people tried to tear you down. That could have happened with Saturn in the 10th house. People tried to ruin your rep, and you had to come back strong and be like defending yourself. Be like, nope. This is me. I'm Pisces. I'm strong. I'm knowledgeable. You're not going to make me look stupid. Okay. Like I am. Nope. Sorry. That could have been even bosses. Like I had a boss during that time that really tried to make me feel dumb. Okay, I'm a Pisces moon, so this counts for me too. I had a boss try to make me feel stupid, and I was just like, I'm not having it. Like, I could read right through you, okay? Like, I could really read you. Like, what's that term they say? Read you to filth? Like, don't make me use my intuitive abilities to read you to filth, okay? Because I could see right past all of that. I knew some things about this boss of mine that could have got him in so much trouble and gotten him fired on some Harvey Weinstein shit, okay? But I was like, no, it's cool. It's cool. I'm going to kick back, all right? I'm going to learn as much as I can learn, so you don't try to make me feel dumb, okay? People did try to challenge me, but you know what, though? I ended up leaving what I thought was going to be my career and starting a new one and building my own path. So Pisces, it's about building your own lane, building your own path, with Saturn in the 10th house. I hope you guys achieve that too. and achieve like a good reputation for yourself. Yeah, so now it's Saturn in the 11th house for Pisces. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little under these lights and my voice is just like wanting to just leave on me completely. But anyway, for Pisces now, Saturn in the 11th house. This is building a great network of people. Building, especially if you want to build a network on the internet. Say, for example, Saturn in the 10th, you build a dope business, right? Now it's time to get it out there on the internet. Network with people. Have a great following. Guess what? Saturn in the 11th can help you to build that. Master that, okay? So that's the good part about this. Also, you know, the thing I said earlier about friendships, you guys could be learning about friendships a lot more. So some of your groups of friends that you thought were cool, boo-boo, they're toxic, you're going to end up dropping them. If you don't drop them, Saturn will present a challenge in your path with these people that makes you see them in their true light. And you know, Pisces, we love to see the good in everybody. We're like these little fairies. They're like, oh, you know, we just like everybody to be great and beautiful and wonderful. And we see sparkles on everybody. You know, we can be like that, Pisces, but those sparkles are going to go away for some people when we look at them. With Saturn in our 11th house, yes, they will. So with that being said, we're going to end up dropping some people, but we'll end up gaining even stronger networks of really good people that we can build with, maybe build, excuse me, build a network with. For an example, like, yeah, I'm trying to do this network building thing. I'm already participating in it a little bit as a Pisces moon, but Saturn in the 11th, I feel like it'll help me to build even stronger with these people. And you may even become a leader within a network of people, Pisces, with Saturn in the 11th house. So because Saturn can be about leadership too, about being a boss. Like I said, kicking back in your office chair, you know, with a cigar, with a drink, with a book, with the awards around you, all these achievements and stuff. So Pisces, it could be about that for you, but in a group of people, you could be a leader. All right. So, yeah, but just watch those friendships though. You may end up cutting some people off. Okay. So that was it for Pisces. And that was it for the horoscope part for everybody with Saturn in Capricorn, the general forecast. So I really hope you guys found this to be helpful and gave some insight. Once again, I do personal readings of all kinds. I do have a Saturn in Capricorn special I'm running this month in December. Hit me up. I will give you the forecast of how it's going to hit all your planets, your chart, everything over the next few years. I also do readings on relationships. I do readings on career, just your general natal chart. If you want me to just do your chart, you're curious about what your name, your birthday, your birth time, all this stuff says about you, you want my interpretation, I will break it down in detail. So I do natal charts. I have a Jupiter and Scorpio special going on this month, personalized forecast for that. What else? If you are new to astrology and readings, you never had a reading before, especially you don't know how they're done, and you want me just to read one planet, one placement in your chart, I do have a special of that, only $8. You can just, you know, I'll interpret the planet. That means the planet, the house, the aspects, if anything is crossing over it and hitting it in transit right now, aka a horoscope for that planet. I'll do all of that in great detail for only $8 for just one planet if you want to just test out what I do, okay? So all that is on my website, indigomoonastrology.com. And you guys can find me there if you would like any readings or anything like that. And what's going to be the next video? I think I'm going to talk about Jupiter and Scorpio. I didn't get a chance to talk about it when it first moved into Scorpio because I had a lot of heavy family stuff going on at that time. But excuse me, now I have the time to talk about it. It's still going to be there for another year. So you know what? Let's talk about Jupiter and Scorpio and talk about how it's exposing. Okay, and Saturn and Capricorn is going to be about exposing these top executives and all that stuff too. All right. So Jupiter and Scorpio along with Saturn and Capricorn, yo, the exposure is real. The tea will be spilted. Okay. So maybe I'll do Jupiter and Scorpio live broadcast next time. And we'll talk then. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll put timestamps as soon as I can to let you know where your sign's forecast is. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I know I was a little more serious tonight with all this Saturn energy, but I'm like super hyped about teaching and stuff. Teaching you guys more about astrology, teaching classes and everything. So yeah, if you want to drop in the comments, how has Saturn and Sag affected you? How have you felt the shift of Saturn and Capricorn? Did you feel it right away? What have you already seen and witnessed with yourself and other people? What are you looking forward to? What are you least looking forward to? And I'll respond, you know, at my earliest convenience if you leave comments. And you know what? If I couldn't find your messages with your experiences, my bad. You know, I was trying to do this on the spot. But anyhow, that's it, guys. I'll stop rambling. And happy Saturn and Capricorn. Happy Capricorn season. The sun is there now. Happy winter solstice as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for being here and being active in the chat and all that good stuff. So take care of yourselves. And I'm going to go drink some tea and rest my voice, y'all. All right. Love you guys. See you next time. Peace.